Retrofitting an indicator system on an e-bike or bicycle has never been this easy. In this video, I'll show you how to mount the new Busch Müller Turntec T2 indicators in under 10 minutes and without any tools. Included in the scope of delivery are two separate indicators, which you can simply insert into the ends of your handlebar. These are connected to each other via a connection cable. An integrated battery then supplies the system with power. The indicators are compatible with all common bicycles and e-bikes with straight handlebars that have an inner diameter of 17.5 to 19.5 millimeters. That should easily be enough for the vast majority of bikes. Also check beforehand if your grips are open on the left and right side to be able to insert the indicators at all. You might need different grips here to make this retrofit possible. If you have any, you must first pull out your old handlebar end plugs. For some grips like here, you have to loosen the grip a bit for that. If the plugs are just pushed in but you can't get them out, you can also try to remove these end plugs with a corkscrew. To do this, simply screw the corkscrew into the end plug and pull them out. When preparing for the installation, all you really need to do is turn the small plastic screws on the indicators outwards slightly to spread the rubber plugs a bit. The further you push them apart, the tighter the indicator will sit in the handlebar later. Here you first only turn until the indicator can be pushed gently and with little resistance into the handlebar. Now you can already pull the cables of the right indicator through the handlebar. The indicators are marked with L and R on the underside, so you can't mix them up. They are also extremely different thanks to the cable. Before I do this here, I connect the three currently loose cables with some electrical tape. It's not absolutely necessary, but I find it a bit tidier and it fits better. To pull the cable through, you will find a plastic tube in the box with your indicators that you can use as an aid. You can simply stick this into the black tube and then push the cable through the handlebar with it. This approach worked really well for me and caused no issues at all. And now you can also insert the right indicator into the handlebar. First, make absolutely sure that you do not pinch any of the cables, and ideally you should pull everything through very carefully from the other side. Once the indicator is positioned inside the handlebar, you can turn it clockwise until it is firmly and securely clamped in place. However, you must ensure that the Busch and Müller logo and the corresponding arrow are both pointing directly upwards. It is also marked with top on the indicator. Also make sure that the indicator is completely against the handlebar, not just the grip, so really against the metal or carbon, and that there is no gap in between. On the left hand side, you'll now find a white connector for the other indicator. The connection in front of it is strain relieved with a plastic sleeve. Since I think these might rattle a bit while riding, I'm wrapping this area again with some soft material. Now you can also connect the left indicator to it. Just plug them together and carefully insert the whole system. If you previously adjusted the pressure rubber inserts so that the indicator can be pushed in with light pressure, this should work without any problems. Otherwise, just readjust it here. Also make sure that no cables are pinched or severely bent in any way. By turning it clockwise, you also tighten this indicator. Again, of course, make sure the logo and arrow are facing upwards. This is the only way to ensure visibility. Operating the indicators is now super easy. With a short tap of your palm, you activate and deactivate the indicator on the respective side. This can be done without taking your hands off the handlebar, which provides more safety while riding. By default, the indicator is set so that a short tap activates 15 flashes. Tapping it briefly again interrupts the flashing sequence. If you want the indicator to flash for longer, you need to press and hold it for at least 1.5 seconds. It will then flash for 4 minutes or until you deactivate it by pressing the button again. If you want to activate the hazard warning mode, press and hold both the left and right buttons for at least 3 seconds. Pressing them again will cancel the hazard lights. But if you like, you can also customize the number of flashes triggered by a short tap, choosing anywhere between 5 and 30 flashes. To do this, the indicator must be connected, not currently charging, and of course not switched on. Now press and hold the left button. While keeping the button pressed, plug a powered USB-C cable into the port. You can use a power bank, for example. After a short moment, you'll notice the front LED lighting up continuously. Keep holding the left button at this point, because as soon as you release it, the indicator will start flashing. Once it has flashed the desired number of times, confirm your selection by pressing the right indicator button. From then on, the indicator will flash exactly that number of times when you tap it briefly. You can then simply unplug the charging cable. When adjusting the setting, please note that the number of flashes must be at least 5 and no more than 30. To reset the indicator to its factory settings in case of an incorrect adjustment, press and hold the left indicator button again, plug in the charging cable with a power supply and wait until the light stays on continuously. After releasing the button, the indicator starts flashing again just like during the setup. To reset, you now have to press the left button once. By another signal, you'll also notice that the reset was successful. Charging works via a USB-C port on the indicator on the left side. The easiest way to do this is, of course, with a power bank directly on the e-bike or bicycle. You can also use your e-bike's onboard power, for example from the Bosch smartphone grip as shown here. And some Busch and Müller clip-on lights also have an active charging function, which you can also use. The charging process is indicated by a red LED. When the battery is full, it goes out. The indicators also seem to work while the charging process is running. In other words, you can also charge while riding. If the battery level falls below 10%, you'll definitely notice as the indicators will flash much faster. Theoretically, you can always unscrew the indicator and disconnect it from the cable to charge it elsewhere. However, I wouldn't recommend this as I believe frequent plugging and unplugging isn't ideal and harms the system. In that case, a USB-C charging port on your e-bike might really be the better solution. So much for the installation of the universal bicycle indicators from Busch and Müller. If you have any questions about installing these indicators, feel free to ask in the comments. If you are looking for a way to support me and our channel and you enjoyed the T2 indicators we shared, please consider checking out our shop or clicking that subscribe button. See you next time.